Hey, what's going on, everybody? And happy daylight savings time to you because I love fall daylight savings time. We always get an extra hour. And when we get an extra hour, I usually use it resting or sleeping, just reconfiguring my time. I have a whole hour to adjust. But you know what? I think we all can adjust our time. It doesn't matter like if they give us they allot us another time. We allow ourselves to be allotted another hour. We can decide and define and figure that all out for ourselves. I mean, we invented time, but it is nice to have it as some form of measurement so that you can, I guess, progress or see your progress or manage it or measure it. But, anyways, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not getting deep into that part of it. On my end, I woke up in the middle of the night, of course. I had different thoughts and I wrote those things down. And it seems to be part of my revenge denouement. And one of the things that I came up with was contacting all of the spirits, my ancestors, my magical connections on the other side, and raising them strongly. I also figured out different ways of just doing manifestation work. And I kind of had like a video a while back, like a couple days ago, about manifesting. But here's the thing, it takes time. There's different variables. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's fast. You never really know. So there's probably knowledge and experience on how that takes place on this plane. But I believe a strong belief into it is that it carries with it its set of belief. That the user, the intent person that is in that process of manifesting, they carry with them the belief of whatever it is that they are executing with. I'll give you an example. I had a day where things were just going so good for me. And I went out, I was like, everything in my heart and soul was telling me, go buy lottery tickets. And we're just talking about like the little ones that you get from, the little $9, $10 ones. But I was buying $20 tickets. And when I was done, I was up, I think, 200 or 300 bucks, and I had spent 4 or 5, I think $450, but I was up like $200. Now, there's a sequence of gambling that is wrapped into everything. That you have like a little tick, and it's like a dopamine hit, and then it increases your level of activity to reinforce your behavior again and again. And so I did go back to a different place and tried it again, and then I was down, I think, about 50. Wasn't too bad, but I would take the experience again because it taught me something. I went with the intention that I would play and I would win, and I did. And then there was that feeling of, do I want to go back one more time? And I chose that. I didn't listen to that spirit saying, it wasn't like a calling to go do it again. It was just more or less, I should have just took my winnings and ran. But that's the part of us that we hesitate on so often. Here's another thing that I realized too. This land or whatever this experience is that we go through, it requires sacrifice, or it requires its equal match. For your reward, your celebration, there is also sacrifice. It goes two and two, hand in hand. It's very rare that you are blessed eternally without any level of sacrifice. And the sacrifice can take place on many levels. As you can hear, I have my kid interrupting me and she knows I'm making the video. It's unavoidable. And so what you have to do is take your good and your bad together. That's one thing I'm discovering. So, what am I getting at here? With the manifestation, I did realize there is a key power ingredient. I probably wouldn't even make this video right now, but it is, you have to use the right invocation. Words are spells. I mean, me right now, I'm using all these words and I'm echoing them out in space. They carry with them power, magical power. They cast spells. If you're watching and to some degree you're influenced by them, I've casted my spell and it's working on you right now. This is the whole point of having words, having this utterance coming out of our mouths, because it influences the way people behave, interact. Sometimes it's to greater degrees, sometimes it's to lesser degrees. but it has an influential effect. All the great leaders, the great speakers, they all talk about it. Is he a man of, what is it? It's got a sharp tongue. Can he speak with the gift of gab? I mean, there's endless amounts of things that people talk about when it comes down to spell work. Well, you're only as good as your spells. You're only as good as your invocations, whatever it is that you're releasing. And I had one given to me last night. Matter of fact, and I kind of I'm going to side digress just a little bit here. I received these messages as I was in the presence of two powerful witches that had contained all of the three ingredients that they needed to be the strong witch that they were. And I told them, I was like, I just love that. I like the word witch. I was like, I don't want it to be a negative connotation. I don't want it to raise up these bad feelings of like being persecuted and hung. Okay. So anyways, I spent time with them in my dreams, but it was on a level that they were devoting to me. It was almost that I acquired them for a pursuit, but I also did not leave them. I made sure to respect them and give them the praise and energy that they required on another level. It's a give and take. And it's like the take was still a give. And the giving, the receiving, what I received was just a bonus. So you want it to be this happy marriage that wherever you're receiving and you're giving feels all one. That's a good trick to figure out. But beyond that, the one thing that I did come away with after I was in my space of receiving thoughts, it taught to me about my employer. It taught to me about business in general. And I started to realize exactly how these things happen, how people get ahead, how people manifest, how they do all this stuff. It is energy wrapped involved in all the process. And it's making more sense to me if you listen to the Law of One with Ra. Ra speaks about some of this energy and how the polarity behaves. Okay? So here's one of the things that I feel like I have discovered. You can have service to self, service to other. In this country, we have service to self, so much individual pursuits, and then it's at the suffering of the collective, instead of it being service to all. So, where am I getting at with all this? My employer takes a heavy percentage of all that the ones under him receive. Okay? All the amounts that they receive, he takes a huge cut. And there seems to be no benefit to any of us for staying there, aside from we carry the beautiful flag that he is established. Now, where am I going with this? The leader, the person running the show, is the one that greatly benefits the most. And he does it at such a degree that it keeps just enough in the bellies. But it doesn't stay long because there's feast being made elsewhere. But he has no clue that his approach and ideology carries with him and maintains his position at the detriment and sacrifice of those that have helped build him. And he has yet to realize that even his rise to fame and claim came with a sacrifice of what his mother gave him. So he himself has been given from above, yet he is above and does not give below. And so there's this weird energy that is happening in this, that he has reached his he's reached his place, and yet he doesn't allow anyone else to reach theirs. And so I think the quote that I wrote down, and this was the statement, this was the phrase that went through my mind, was, why is it that, or just basically I'll state the statement, all of our leaders and our bosses deny us our will. Our individual will is suffocated, is limited, prevented with theirs to rise and go beyond. And then they carry with them a flag of justice, as if this is the way it is to be. And they have no clue they'd have no regard that their position was given to them. And yet they don't allow the same freedom of giving to the ones below them. That was a big revelation for me last night. The other thing I want to speak about is the power to use the words to where things actually happen. And I'm going to say this is the most powerful momentum, because you say it and you believe it. You give it, it has actual power to it. This invocation is called, and this is the way you would say it, I will act soon. Those 4 words. And then you apply it to whatever anything else that you need to focus on, will carry with it much better results. Instead of saying stuff like, because I'm the guilty one here with using rationality. Rationality is your killer. It is a symptom of comfort. Comfort is your robber of true peace. It keeps you still. It keeps you weak. And it keeps you holy in some regard. I think it was best said by Jordan Maxwell that for all of evil to succeed in their endeavors is for all that is good to do nothing. And it might have been someone else that stated that, but I definitely heard it from Jordan Maxwell. And so we fall into that when we get comfortable. So if you can learn anything, find ways to change that. And what is the deal with comfort? What is the deal with passivity or pacificity? And what is the deal with being completely holy and good and content? You really do not engage. And in that essence, you are not creating fire. You're not creating energy in the space of which you've been given life force. You've got to understand, your spirit didn't come here just to rest. And if you notice, you will exist and you will do more, and you will have much further outcomes for an active body versus one that is more sedentary. So I'm looking at this and I say, I will act soon. I will do this. The will, if you can connect with that powerful word, I will be better. I will do what it is I set out to do. I will achieve my revenge. I will execute the plans that I need to execute. I will be balanced. I will be better health. I will be better at all things that I'm doing. I will do what I can for others. I will do better than the things that people have done for me, for other people. Figure out your will and grab a hold of that power and then put the energy and the essence into it, and it will change. I will act soon with this. I will act soon in getting the business moving in the right direction. I will not hesitate. You see, you use this will, that power of will, and soon. Soon is a very powerful word too. It increases the level of power in that will. And I started identifying with that last night. And so I'm planning on raising the spirits. I'm planning on going towards the areas that I already remember from the past. I've been in this energy long ago. In this lifetime. I'm not saying like a past life or some shit. But in this lifetime, I've already gone through certain spiritual moments. I have been on the other side of anger, revenge, fire. Don't have it often. But when I do, it does kickstart my energy. And I'm using it as a weapon to get things that I need for me and my family. People may comment and say weird things. That doesn't bother me. It's when it affects my family, especially in business. And my business partner screwed me over, and I'm already acquiring so many more resources, and they keep coming. And the money will flourish. And there'll be a time where I actually just going to play the lottery because I know I will win. And when I play like that and I get the millions that I want, I will also carry forth all of my plan and objective. I have a strong conviction for these words. You probably feel it a little bit different on this video the way I'm saying it. And that's how I feel. I wonder how long I'll stay at the place I'm at. I think there's a time, there's a storm brewing, but I don't like to call it a storm. What will we call it? We'll call it an event. There's an event coming soon. And it will be the deciding force for everything that I take forward in my future. I won't stand by and watch people in my company continue to suffer. I will build what I need to build, and I will take what I need to take for the benefit of others. This is no trickery or manipulation on the energy. I realize where I thrive. I thrive better when I'm giving service to others. And there is still time for service for myself. There's the middle ground. And it's not complete sacrifice, but it is sure enough a strong amount. I'm ending it here. Long video kind of for me, but I feel like there's some good gold nuggets. If you guys watch it, thank you for watching. And I will talk with you on the next video, maybe even shorter. Thanks again.